Welcome back to my channel. I'm James. Today we're going to be reviewing and deep diving into The Longest Yard, the 1974 classic sports comedy adventure film with Burt Reynolds in it. This is not the remake, which was later on with Adam Sandler. This is the original 1974 film. Now this was sent to me for review from Kino Lorber, and I do want to say big shout out and thank you to Kino Lorber for sending this for review. But as all of you know, just because something's sent for review, it never changes my review score, my opinions, or the testing data when I dive into these discs. And let me say, there's quite a bit of interesting things I discovered when I was watching and testing this. Now, you're going to notice up above the native images that I pulled directly from this disc as we're going along. Now, this is a native 4K 2160p, and this does have Dolby Vision and HDR10 on it. I can tell you this new 4K release was created from a new 4K scan of the original 35mm camera negatives. Now, if you're wondering why I'm not doing a 4K versus Blu Ray image comparison on this review, it's simply because this was never released on Blu Ray in the US. It was only released in Australia in a limited Blu Ray release. Not anywhere else around the world, and most territories around the world never got it at all except on DVD. And in the US, this is the first time it's being released on Blu Ray and 4K. And I can tell you, it was an exciting announcement, especially the fact that Kino Lorber has been doing more and more of these lately. Now, for this new 4K scan, I can tell you the original film elements do have a certain look to them that is retained in this. So what I mean by that is, the colors in this, for example, like whites, they're not brilliant white in this. They are off-white. So in that case, I can't say it's brilliant whites or inky blacks even, because I'll give you an example. The blacks in this are more a very, very, very dark grayish black. It's not really inky black. It seems like the film elements, there was still damage and things present that you do notice some of that throughout this. I think it would have needed a brand new, huge restoration to get rid of all of that. There's some elements of the film where it gets extremely light, where it kind of like fades out at the top corners of your screen when you're watching it. And as far as the look of it though, the film grain is very stable throughout it. It does look very nice with the film grain. I will say that the scan for it, the actual film grain looks really good on it. It's stable throughout it. There's not big fluctuations. There's not issues with banding or blocking as far as that goes. But the negative side of that is that it's not one of those brilliant whites and inky black 4K releases. It's just simply not. And as I said, I'll always be upfront and honest with all of you when I go through this. And there's some other things that could have used some work on it as well that I'm going to get to here in a minute. But if you decide you're going to buy The Longest Yard on 4K Ultra HD after watching this review, as always, I post those direct links from Amazon in the description section and as a pinned comment in the comment section below. It's always important that if you buy any of these releases after you watch my reviews, to click on those links down there below. They never cost you, the viewer, anything extra. Not even a penny extra do those links charge you. And those are on sale for the same prices everywhere. The difference is that helps to support the creation of these videos just a tiny bit. So make sure if you decide you're going to buy this after watching this review, to click on those links I've posted down there below. Now, like I was mentioning, this does have Dolby Vision and HDR10 on it. Between the two of those, as always, I test the variances between those. There really wasn't any variance between those. Both the Dolby Vision and the HDR10, when I was watching it, looked both very similar, no matter which one of them I was watching it on. I can't really say one had one up over the other. They both looked good, but they were not amazing. And there's a lot of things throughout it that, for example, the intro title sequences and things like that, where the whites are just very off-white. So they're just not that brilliant, just coming out at you, brilliant whites. Because this film, as I said originally, has a certain look for it that it went for in 1974. It's got a very almost brownish overtone to it. Skin tones, clothing, backgrounds, whites, they're all just slightly off-white and more in a sense of a more brownish tone. And that's retained on this film. So as far as that goes, it's not necessarily something they did wrong. It's just they're working with the original film elements, and that's the way it was intentionally created to give it that look. And that's retained on here. So don't go into this expecting it to be one of those that's just so brilliant and inky black. It's just simply not. Now, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to go down there, give this video a like and a thumbs up for me, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Just like this video, you never want to miss out on any of this exclusive analysis or in-depth testing and reviews I release here on my YouTube channel. So make sure to go down there, give this video a like and a thumbs up for me, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Now, talking about the audio, this does have an English DTS HD Master Audio 2.0 mix on it. And this is where my other issues I encountered when I went through all my testing on this. As most of you know, I have numerous reference home audio systems that I test things out on. Then I also have some lower end audio sound bars that I test things on to see what the difference is between all of them, whether it's my big home theater systems or whether what it sounds like on basically sound bars. And I can tell you that's where this one had some issues. And it was really the weakest part of this 4K release was the audio mix. It's very shrill and sharp in numerous scenes throughout the film. And I'll explain what I mean by that. When you're watching it, I actually ended up having to keep the remote in my hand at all times, because when I was watching on like my home theater setup, my reference home theater setup, it would go to where it was actually so shrill and sharp that it actually hurt my ears. And so I'd be turning it down. Then the next scene is very quiet and calm, and then I turn it up. And then all of a sudden, it's real shrill and sharp, kind of like jerks you. Turn it down, turn it up, turn it down. And this went on throughout the entire film. I can't really say there was any time for an extended period that there wasn't going back and forth between that shrill and sharp to more of a calmer audio mix. Now, it's not that you can't hear it. You can hear it just fine. It's just it was a very, like I said, shrill 2.0. And when you watch it, you'll understand exactly what I'm explaining. It didn't really matter if I went to my sound bars or I went to my home theater setups. They were all the similar experience. Now, I will say on the sound bars, because they don't have as good of a projection because you're limited by just that sound bar in front and some basically background, it just wasn't as heavy, but it's still noticeable and still caused me to do up, down as I was watching it. The home theater, if you have a home theater setup, it was really, really noticeable on that. And that just seems to be with what they're working with from that original 2.0 mix. Really could have used a whole brand new restoration for the audio mix. It's just not gonna be one of those films that everybody knows about. So I just don't see this getting a full restoration for the audio mix. I think this is what we're gonna get on 4K, and I'll be surprised if we ever see anything else for this release. But that 2.0 mix, it's just not amazing. Don't go into it expecting it to be amazing, and keep your remote in hand, because if you're like me, that shrillness just kind of like sets me off. I mean, it gets my nerves on edge because it gets real shrill and I gotta turn it down. For me, it just wasn't a very enjoyable, and it wasn't a very good audio mix. Now, showing you what you get in this, I loved this new cover artwork that Kino Lorber did, and I love these slip covers. Keep in mind though, just like Kino Lorber is known for, these slip covers only come in the first pressings. Once these sell out, you no longer get them with slip covers going forward. So if you're a slip cover collector, don't forget to go down there and order your copy after you get done watching this review. Otherwise, you may end up getting one with no slip cover. But I do like this artwork of the slip cover on here. It says The Longest Yard on the side. Then it talks about the film. You do get audio commentaries on it. You get behind the scenes, another audio commentary, Doing Time on the Longest Yard featurette, and Unleashing the Mean Machine featurette, plus some theatrical trailers. Now, I will tell you it runs 121 minutes and it is rated R. It has strong language, violence, and some brief sexual content. So it's up to you as far as what you think is okay to watch or not. Personally though, if you're looking for what's really got the sexual content, it's mostly at the beginning, and then the rest of it's pretty tame in my opinion after that. But as far as when this film came out in 1974, I do know that the original beginning when people went to the theaters did surprise some of them, but as far as the film goes, it is enjoyable, and I do think it's fun how it kind of mixes together the prison drama with the sports comedy and everything going together, him trying to recruit a team to basically play against the guards in it. I thought it's a very enjoyable mixture altogether. Now, showing you what you get inside here, you do get your Blu Ray disc, and I did exclusively test it. It is Region A locked, which is kind of surprising for a Paramount release. A lot of the times, these Paramount releases by Kino Lorber are usually region free. In this case, the Blu Ray's not. It's 100% Region A locked. 4K though, happily is 100% region free. So if you're wanting to import this to any country, remember that Amazon link I posted down there below ships anywhere worldwide. So make sure if you're wanting to get it, click on that link below. The 4K disc is a BD100, so there was plenty of room for the content, and I'll get to why that's important for the image here in just a second. But the BD100 was very nice, which is what lended to the image looking so good on the actual image itself. Now, getting to the rough average bitrate, I dived into this and tested it, and I can tell you it was a surprisingly and extremely high and strong 98 megabits per second. It was one of those shocking ones where I was literally like, whoa. The image is extremely stable and looks very, very good. It's healthy, it's not DNR'd, the film grain's there, you can see a lot of detail. It's just those issues with the image are not something Kino Lorber did wrong. It's just they're scanning those original film elements, and without doing a massive restoration completely from the ground up, there's a lot of things that they did fix, but there are things, like I said, where the film is slightly faded in the corners, you'll notice. And like I said, some of those things where the blacks aren't as inky and things because of how the film was stored and the age of it, you can just tell in this scan. Otherwise, the image was the big impressive thing on this. The image I did enjoy, and the image I think looks good for a film from 1974. It's just got some inherent issues, like I said, with all those audio and things like that, that really, to me, made it hard being one of those that I enjoyed the image, but the audio I just did not enjoy and was not a pleasing audio mix. So getting to my review score, for the longest yard on 4K Ultra HD, this gets an 8.5. So it's one of those that I enjoyed watching the image, but there was things that, like I said earlier in this review, I wish would have had more time on them. And that's just where this stands. It's an 8.5. It's one that I enjoy the film. It's one of those you have to determine how much you love the film. But considering this hadn't been released on Blu Ray before in the US, it is one of those, if you like the film, you're going to want to own it in this, because I do honestly believe this is the best we're going to get and the final release of it. It just has things that you had to be aware of, and that's why I wanted to share all my testing data with you, so that you understand that when you're going into watching and listening to this, just make sure you keep your remote handy. If you're like me and you watch it on a home theater audio system, you are going to notice those fluctuations, the shrillness and things like that. You're going to be going up and down and up and down. But now that you know about it, it won't shock you as much as when I first started watching it. My wife was like, whoa, she's like, that hurts the ears. And I was like, yeah, I got to turn it down. And then next scene, it's real quiet. Can you turn it back up? So I'm turning back up. And so when you're watching it with someone else as well, they notice those things as well. And I do like that it was at least released, because it is one of those films, the more of these classic films we get on 4K, I love having these in my collection. So you just gotta decide as a collector, how much of a collector are you? How much do you enjoy the film? And then you decide if you wanna buy this based on my review score. I posted that link down there in the description section down there below for you. So if you decide you're gonna buy this now, make sure to click on those links down there below. If you're wondering why I'm a little bit quieter today, kind of been sharing a little bit about this on my Twitter, but I've been going through a lot more health issues again lately. I live in constant chronic pain, extreme pain actually, and I have actually had a lot more pain recently. And so once it gets above what I kind of get used to with my constant chronic pain, it basically then causes a shock to my system and just kind of wears me down, and just obviously the pain is just hard to deal with sometimes. So that's why this video, if you're wondering why I don't have as much energy, and I'm trying to do the best I can, but I am just worn down and the pain just freaking sucks sometimes. And so I just thought I'd share that with all of you. That's why things are just a little bit slower in this video today. If you enjoy all this hard work and time I put into every one of these videos, make sure to join my Collectors VIP Club. It's very, very important to the creation of these videos. I'm not sponsored or paid by anybody. Nobody pays me to do these reviews. The only way I can continue to do this is through you, my viewers and subscribers' support. That VIP Club is the best way to support these videos. It costs you less than a couple of bucks every month, and it drastically makes a difference in me being able to continue to do this for many years to come. If you enjoy the time and work I put into testing and analyzing all of these, and you watch these videos, make sure to join my Collectors VIP Club. And I want to say a huge shout out and thank you to all my current VIP Club members. You truly do make a world of difference. As always, make sure to start the conversation in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts on this film, how excited you are for this film, and how much you love it. As always, I hope all of you truly have a blessed day, and I've always got something new, early, exclusive, and exciting coming out very soon.